Hello everyone, this is Mazurex, and welcome to the fourth, episode of coding a Discord bot in JavaScript. In this episode, we're gonna go over the banning and unbanning command. So to create this, we're gonna create a new file in our commands folder. I'm gonna call this ban.js. And I'm also gonna zoom in a bit. Now here, firstly, we're gonna get a few things from discord.js. I'm gonna get a / command builder, permissions flags bits, and embed builder. Right, then gonna see module exports equals data new / command builder dot set name ban dot set description ban a user from the server. The add user option. Now what this does is it prompts it adds a argument to the command, essentially saying what user do you want to ban. You got many options. You got add user option, string option, boolean option, channel option, number option. There's a lot of them. No option. Let's get option set name as target. Set description. Now, by the way, the name has to be very specific. It cannot have capital letters, spaces, dashes. I'm pretty sure. It can only have underscores. I'm pretty sure. It's very, very specific. That's the description. Who to ban, and then I'm also gonna say .set required to true. So the user must input this, otherwise it won't work. I'm gonna add a string option now. Option set name reason. Set description. Why are you banning this user? Not set required true. You don't have to make this one required. Most servers actually don't, but I actually will. And then we're gonna also say set default member permissions flags bit ban members. Now here what we're gonna say is async execute and then interaction and client. Client, by the way, is because that's how we made it in the index. So you could do interaction.client, but it's the same as saying client. So you could either use both. You could, if you need client, you can get rid of it, but I like it. So first I'm gonna do is the further apply. I'm gonna make it ephemeral to essentially hide it, if you know what I mean. Say const target equals interaction the options dot get user target const reason equals interaction the options dot get string reason. As you can see, these are the same names as you put here. Now we're actually gonna get the members for each of these. So we're gonna say const target member, because you're banning a member, you're not banning a user. This gets the user, and the user is Discord wide, but a member is guild wide. And when you ban, you wanna ban guild wide, server wide. When you ban them server wide. So if you try to ban a user, it won't work. It will say the member doesn't exist. You have to ban a member, not a user. So that's where you get the member, because you can do to get a member from a guild. You can say await interaction.guild.members.fetch and then target. Now, what you could do alternatively is, because fetching could take some time, you could do interaction.guilds.members.cache.get and then target. However, what this does is it gets it from the bot's cache, meaning if the member joins while the bot's offline, the bot won't have the member in its cache and it'll throw an error saying it doesn't exist, which is why doing it this way is much better, in my opinion. It does take a bit more time, but it's basically noticeable. I'm also gonna say client member, and you'll see why in a second. It's basically the same. Interaction client .guild.members.fetch client. And then we're simply going to do a quick statement. If target is equal to client.user, or target equals interaction.user, we're gonna simply return interaction.edit reply content. I cannot ban this user. Now, what you could do is make one for each of these. Like if you try to do this, like you'll say I cannot ban myself. Or if you do this, you cannot ban yourself. You could, but I don't see the need to. And we're also gonna actually up here. We're also gonna specify a logging channel ID. This is because you want to log the ban somewhere once it's done. So you can actually go to your server, and I'm gonna make the same channel. Like actually, I'm gonna make a new channel called super cool logs, and you simply copy channel ID. Right now, down here, we're actually gonna do another if statement. I'm gonna say if target member dot roles dot highest dot position, which basically what this returns is gets the member's highest role and the position of that role in the actual roles list. So if I go to server settings and roles, as you can see there's two roles. This has the indicator of 1 and this has an indicator of 0. No, 2. It's either 1 or 0. It starts, I'm pretty sure it starts with 1. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the bot cannot ban or actually manage a member that has a role equal or higher to it. So we're gonna simply say if this is more or equal to client member dot roles dot highest dot position. So if the target has more important role than the client, then it will return interaction edit reply content, and it will simply say I cannot ban this member as their highest role is equal or higher than mine. Speaking of, what I've just noticed is this should be member if we're gonna be literal. Okay, and then we're gonna put this in a try catch statement. I feel like it should be put in a try catch statement. I'm not sure why. You don't have to. You could probably put this entire code in a try catch statement. I'm gonna put this in a try catch statement. So await target member dot ban, and here you can have a few parameters. You can actually put your reason in here, right? But I'm pretty sure they changed it. I have to do that. You have to open it up. And the first thing we're actually gonna do is delete message seconds. Now this deletes the amount of messages in seconds. Like they sent a message a minute ago, it'll be 60 seconds. So I'm gonna make this a week. So 7 times 24 times 60 times 60. So what this does is it deletes the messages in the past week, which is what a normal ban would do. And then reason is reason. This basically deletes the weak stuff of messages for the reason. Right. Now down here, what we're gonna do is interaction edit reply, because you have to content. You have to tell the person that they've been banned. I'm gonna do this. I have successfully banned target.username. And we're actually gonna do a bit more checking. So const a logging channel equals, now to get a channel we're gonna do await interaction.guild.channels nose.fetch. If you're wondering what fetch does, fetch essentially gets the item from Discord's API. So the difference between fetch and cache, because you get cache.get, the difference is this gets it from the bot's memory. This gets it from the Discord API, which is why this will always be legitimate unless the member is being banned or a message has been deleted and it's no longer in the API, which means you cannot fetch it. Now here we're going to put logging channel ID, and we're almost done. We're simply going to say if there's no logging channel, Then we're gonna return interaction.followup. The reason we're not gonna do interaction.reply is because we don't really want to edit this message, right? We don't want to edit this message. No, not this message. This message, because the follow-up does is essentially replies to the reply. If you know what I mean. You'll see. We'll do a bunch of testing. And we're gonna say interaction.followup content. The logging channel specified is incorrect. We're almost done. We're actually gonna make, my cat is on my mouse, one sec. Now below this, we now know there is a logging channel, so we're gonna say const logging embed. This will also slightly go into embeds equals new embed builder. We create a new embed builder object, and then below we're gonna say set color. Now this, if lets you do pretty sure hex. You can also do 0x, I can't remember what this one's called, but then you can also do preset ones by Discord. I'm gonna do a nice clean red one because it's a ban. Set title is gonna be member ban. The add fields, I'm gonna say name, banned by value, interaction.user.username, inline true. Now what inline means, by the way, name is so imagine a field is something like this. You have name and then value. The name is above the value, essentially like that. And that's how you set the name, and then the value is the actual value. This is like a kind of like a title. Now, what inline does is essentially, so you have two options. Inline's false. Each field is going to be below each other. Inline is true. You can fit fields next to each other. Now this will only work for fields that are small enough to fit next to each other. I'm pretty sure you can be up to 3 fields next to each other. Now we're gonna say target, which is simply gonna be target the username. Also inline because it's only gonna be a username. And then we're gonna see reason. It's simply gonna be reason, because it's already a string, and we're actually gonna remove inline because it won't fit anyway, so there's no need. The next thing we're gonna do is gonna set timestamp, which basically at the bottom of the embed shows when it was created. And then .set footer is the little text at the bottom. I'm gonna say text is gonna be client.user.username, which essentially is the name of the bot. And then there's another one called icon URL. Now to get the URL of the bot, you can send your own it's like tenor, or you can send your own GIF URL here, you can send your own images here. But I'm gonna make this the avatar of the bot, so I'm gonna say client.user.display avatar URL, and that's our embed done. So I'm gonna say logging channel.send embeds logging embed, and we're almost done. Now we simply have to catch it. Now we're gonna do is console.error and then interaction.edit reply content. There was an error with executing this command. Save it. Prettier automatically formats everything. It's such a good extension. Prettier. That's the wrong one. You should get this extension. It's my favorite extension. It makes life so much easier. That's actually ban command done. If I test the bot by saying terminal, new terminal, and say node bot/index.js, as you can see, the ban command has been registered. So if you go to the server, you can do /ban. As you can see, it exists, the target and the reason. Now because I'm actually gonna go to B. I'm actually gonna invite a alt just to show that this command actually works. So as you can see, my alt is now, so I'm going to do /ban. Then I'm going to do not mazurex. And reason is smelly. Right. It will say you have successfully banned this user. And then they are now in the banned list. If you go to server settings, bans, they are banned. Now let's revoke this ban. And we'll do a bunch of debugging. So first thing we'll do is go back to the bot, and essentially we're going to give an incorrect channel ID. So we're going to add a capital A at the end. This is not this isn't a real channel ID. So when you ban this user again, not mazurex, test, it will ban them. But it says there was an error. Why? Invalid form body. This is not a snowflake. That's interesting. Wait, let me see this. I don't know. It shouldn't do that though, because we're checking if it exists, right? Yeah, we're checking if there is no logging channel, then that's interesting. Is it because of there's a letter? The time to test. It was an extra 5 at the end. That shouldn't happen. It could be that there's an extra letter at the end, which should not work like that. It's worth testing though. Testing, no, mazurex for test. That is interesting. So you can do that. You copy this error code. If you get these issues, just copy the error code and show me. Because I've had people DM me asking for help. If you get any of these errors, make sure to send me the full error, because that makes this much easier. Now ban is a line 53. It could be that channel doesn't exist. If I do interaction.kills.channels.cache.get, what happens? Bans, revoke ban. I feel like Discord's gonna get angry at me for revoking so many bans. We're just doing some testing. /ban. And not mazurex for test. Yeah, now it works. I didn't know follow-up replaces the message though. So you cannot fetch a channel like that. If it's an incorrect channel, you cannot use fetch. That's what I've realized from this. Now, the best command we can use is unban. Now, I'm actually going to do a little changing to this. So what I'm going to do is make the reason not required. And I'll show you why. I'll show you how. Because now, if someone doesn't set a reason, we're saying a reason is a forced feature. Which means that it will throw an error saying reason is no. So you can touch a double question mark in JavaScript, which means default value as no reason specified. Which means if this value is null, it will say it will return this instead. Now, let's actually make another command called, what's it called? Unban.js. And it's essentially gonna be, I'm gonna copy this code. It's essentially gonna be the same code. And I'm gonna say embed builder, and permissions flags bits. I'm gonna get rid of this code here. And I'm gonna say set name is unban. We're gonna say unbans a user from this server. Now, no, this is not a member anymore, because don't forget, when they're banned, they're users, not members. Which also creates issues, as when you ban someone, you get their member. When you unban someone, you have to do it via their ID. There is a way to do it via their username by looping through the banned list. However, that could be troublesome, as someone could, and this someone's username might change, you forget what their username is, you can no longer unban them easily. So I prefer doing it by ID, which never changes. So you're going to add a string option this time. Option.setName. You could say add the integer option instead, because the ID is all numbers. The number is too long. I think it's like 11 characters long, and that's too long for it to be considered an integer. At that point, it's a different type value. I can't remember which one it is. Set name target underscore ID. Let's set description. Enter the ID of the target and set required true. The add string option set name reason set description. Why are you unbanning this user? It's not going to be required. But now the add is it set default member permissions. And I'm actually going to set this as admin because it's a really important, it's a really powerful permission, real powerful command. I'm pretty sure only the admins, people that can have the managed server permission, can unban. I'm not sure. I'm gonna make it admin anyway. Now we're actually gonna say const target equals interaction.options.get string target underscore ID. My cat is on my desk right now. I'm sorry. Reason equals interaction.options.get string reason dot question mark no reason specified. Okay, now essentially that's most of the fetching. So now we're actually gonna say const logging channel ID, and we're just gonna copy it from the ban command because the logic is essentially the same. I'm gonna put this in a try catch statement again. I'm gonna say await interaction.guild.members.unban, because you can't say target.unban because the target doesn't exist in the guild. So you're gonna unban target and reason. Right. Now the reason I put this in a try is because if you import the incorrect target, it won't work. It'll throw an error saying this user doesn't exist. There's no way to check if the user exists because a Discord bot can't check for users outside the guild. So that's a problem. I'm gonna do interaction to edit reply content. Actually, I'm gonna defer this as ephemeral as well. I'm gonna edit this reply to I have unbanned. I'm actually gonna make this I'm gonna say target. The only reason I'm doing this is because it's an ID, so I want it to be in that kind of font, I guess you can say. I'm gonna say we're gonna basically copy the logging channel logic. So you can scroll down. Logging channel equals this. Actually, you can copy the embed as well and the send. You can copy all this code because it's essentially the same code. Member unban. I'm also gonna make this green as new members. I'm gonna say unbanned by interaction reason. Target is just target, and reason is reason. Now we're gonna, basically bot is basically done. Why is logging channel? Did I not copy logging? Oh, that'll do it. Okay, now we have to catch, so simply say catch error. Now because I'm gonna expect the most common error is an incorrect user, we're gonna do interaction to edit reply content incorrect user. This user doesn't exist. There we go. Not sure why I use a breakpoint here, but it's interesting. Okay, so now if we test the bot, if I get the ID of my alt, how can I get the ID of my alt? Okay, actually what you can do is you go to server settings, bans, and right click and copy user ID, slash unban target. I spelled target wrong, I just noticed that. Enter. This user doesn't exist. So let me just console error because the user most definitely does exist. I think I've had this error issue before, cause for when I'm working on another bot. Okay, so now it works. Okay, so did I do a typo before or what? As you can see, they've been unbanned. If I go to server settings, bans, no longer banned. So somehow that fixed it. I'm not sure what I changed other than logging the error. We can actually just double test this real quick. So if I do /ban, I'm pretty sure you can ban by ID. No, you cannot. Okay. And I'm not surprised because that looks for a user in the guild. So let me just join the server again. Join server. /ban not Mazurax /unban server settings bans, copy user ID and enter. So now it works. I'm not sure. Did I do a typo? I probably did a typo before, which is I didn't work. As you can see, also the type of format I mean, it looks a bit more weird, different. So that is banning and unbanning in the yeah, just ignore this error. You can probably do more catching for that scenario. Checking. I'm not sure why. It should say it's an invalid member. Did I not check if it's a valid member? I didn't. So yeah, make sure you check if it's a valid member before. So you can say if member. Actually, you can just say here. If there isn't a target member, return an interaction edit reply content. This member doesn't exist. Okay, so that's gonna be the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.